Hello everybody, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button and I'm here with a flip through. So it's actually still Sunday, but as I said, I could feel a bit of a head cold coming or something coming because I just feel like all the back of my neck's sore, and yeah. So we'll do this today and then I'll post it tomorrow, and then it won't matter if by the time I come back from Cambridge I'm not, I'm dead and I don't want to do anything. So I'm going to undo. This journal is actually the first ever journal that I made on YouTube. My first ever video I made on YouTube. And so it's a couple of years old. It's made from an old book with lots of different types of papers inside. Some I've used not to use, in some papers in here, book pages, I wouldn't use in the same way again. So there's some mistakes. I actually made a video the other day, and considering I've made 90 videos, it was such a schoolgirl error. I let the battery die and we didn't see all of it, but I actually fixed this journal because there was a big messy hole about here on each side, and then I had a piece of this braid. In fact, this is the piece to make the closure, because for me this is very gator mouthy, because this is as deep as I get, really, as wide as I get, and I didn't like it. I wanted it to close better so that it would sit on the bookshelf downstairs where it sits better. So to fix it, I was trying to find a stamp of an escutcheon, which is like, a plate in front of a lock. I couldn't, and I knew I have got one somewhere, but I have hundreds of stamps and I just didn't have the patience to go through them all. So I found this one, which is just of an ornate heart, like a locket. So I stamped that out a few times, and then I sort of layered in chipboard, which for me, chipboard means cereal packet. So this is, I don't know why I was cutting a circle out with a cereal packet, but there we go. This kind of chipboard. I laid it up, I think 2 or 3 times, and I've even, if you can kind of see, I've sort of left a gap. So this is 4 times actually, so it's twice just with the front, and then there's like a riser bit to allow for the ribbon to go through, and then I've done the same thing on the other side, just because I tied this bit of string in to put the key on. The key is a new addition. I have piles of keys that I've just acquired. I wouldn't know what door they unlock. They are, this is a fairly modern key. I would say it's probably about 20, might be 30 years old. It's not, it's not brand new, but it's not, it's not antique. But I like the fact that it's brass. It's quite heavy and it just sort of works. Oh, I think it works anyway. So I popped that on as an addition, and I just did a plain version on the other side just to hide that hole. And I quite like it, so I might do this on other journals. And I think that's how you learn things, isn't it? You make a mistake, you have to try and rectify it, or bin the entire journal, which I nearly did do. But there are things I like in this journal. So let's just get on, or else we're going to be here all day. So there are some things that you'll see repeated themes in what I do in my journals, just because I enjoy it. I make journals not to be unique and different every time. I make these journals because I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy making things look the way they look, and so I will repeat that. So this is probably one of the first times I did it actually. I have this Anna Griffith stamp, which is worth its weight in gold, and it's of a bulldog clip, and I've made a tuck spot. This is just from a magazine that I've cut out, and they're actually laminated from about 3 jobs back. We did some crafts with laminating. It was before we were all really aware of how bad that would be for the environment. Laminating butterflies so that you could make almost realistic butterflies that would last a long time and stick them in things. So I have quite a few of these, and I will continue to use them because they should be used. So I've got the fabric. I've actually just used some of this fabric in my tea cozy, so it's just from an old scarf. And then I've made a tuck spot using a coffee cup holder, you know, like the warmer bit of the coffee cup. This is a stamped B, a crafty individual stamp, another element from a magazine, backed onto vintage paper, and these are vintage words from a vintage book. Vintage words from a vintage book. How many vintages can I put in? This journal was made January to February 2021. Fairly certain of that. Or was it? No, it was 2022 because I made it here. So it was January 2022. So I've got some Graphics Fairy printables that I've made into sort of a card. I've got a Bygone Times, that's where I get a lot of my paper stuff when I go up north. So that is Grove Mill, The Green, Eccleston, Lancs. So if you're up northwest, go to Bygone Times. It's massive. You'll find loads of bits of paper that are interesting for your junk journaling. A Fortnum & Mason bit of packaging backed onto some paper, and it's kind of coming off because it's difficult to glue that. This is an interesting little thing. So this is some antique Victorian letter, like a snippet from it, and I've just made a coin envelope, sort of gilded it a little bit, and then put a butterfly on it. I really like that. That might happen again. So this is some more of this, just added onto this strip that came from an advertisement in a craft magazine that I've backed onto Vintage Book page, and just sort of made a sort of tuck spot. This is from a book that I've put onto a bit of chipboard. I think that's another bit of book I've put onto some chipboard. And these two pages are quite thick. I don't know where that page is from, but that's a bit of atlas, but I didn't care for the image, so I just put some gesso down, but I coloured the gesso with just some of my watercolour paints, not anything special. And I've just used paint in the background. Little envelopes that have got tuck spots in, that have got even more little tiny of envelopes and tickets and such, just to be interesting when you look through. A ruffle made with that material that's from a scarf. Another little tuck spot, you can take that out. Oh, it's a covered paper clip, and that's with another one of those Anna Griffiths things, but it's like a paper version of, if I can get it off, one of these. Just really handy to make little covered paper clips or little tuck spot things. I'm sure there's other types of stamps like that, but again, there's some more just interesting looking papers. Bit of map, that's just a bit of like dyed and splattered paper. So this is an image from a book, but to make it bigger, I've got some leaves from another image from a book and just sort of expanded it out and added the 3 butterflies on. And this is on music paper. And this is where we're beginning to see a little bit of an issue, because this paper is quite thin and it just doesn't feel very, very secure. Made a belly band with some textured paper. The edging of a fabric sample, I've mentioned that before, that the edges that have sort of like got paper on the back of them, I don't have any to hand, are just really helpful in junk journaling, to making things like belly bands, pockets, strengthening journals. That's a printable. That's another printable, and another little printable ticket that's been backed onto Vintage Book page. This isn't my old A to Z to London, from when I used to have to navigate London on my own. I used to live just outside of London and have to go in for like monthly meetings when I was a youth worker, when I was a youth, way back in the day. Little funny shaped foldy piece that I've just made for some dyed, it's like coffee dyed paper. I've made a tab here with just, this is a Tim Holtz stamp, and then some printable of some sort of timetable. This is from a book image, just cut out, very simple and just bordered around. Yeah, more printable bits, making paper pads, making tags from images from magazines. Again, this fabric's a theme through, so the fabric was also used on the spine, and it's kind of running through, and I do like that. Adds a bit of continuity. That's some beautiful handmade Japanese paper that I covet, and well, not covet it because I already have it. I hoard it. Bit from a book that's been cut out, backed. This is from a napkin. It's the same image that's on the front, but I painted it up, the image on the front, and it's just been simply glued into the page with a nice border. Again, this page is quite, it doesn't hold what's going on well, because this is dictionary page. This stiffens it somewhat, but I wouldn't use that light of a page in a journal as a page anymore, unless it's one of my smaller, thinner journals and the pages are really small, and then I might consider it. So this page is from a 1970s fairy tale book. 1970s kids books I find are really good because they're usually this sort of watery colour, painterly sort of images and matte paper, which is really important. But I just like the image, so I left it like that, and I just liked that. I didn't want to do anything around it, but it says, "Don't be afraid," said the bear, "I will not harm you." This is a covered paper clip, so we've done covered paper clips before, but we haven't quite done ones like this. It's made in exactly the same manner, with my brown paper starting off covering the paper clip, and then one of my bee stamps just sort of doing it in reverse, so it looks like a bee has settled on either side of this paper, which is quite sweet. Nice way to do a covered paper clip. Tags on a little foldy round pocket. All kinds of tags, images cut out from book page. This is a paper, you get one of these. This brings me to the advert of the day. You do get one of these in our Vintage Button advent calendar. You will get one of those, and you'll get one of those. You win this by entering the giveaway. That's subscribing, liking and comment on this video is an entry. Every video you comment on subsequently after that is another entry, because Miles knows how to do things on Excel that I don't. But I will be putting these larger ones where you still get one of that. I think it's like day one or something like that. You will get one of those tapes, and there's that's all the goodness that's inside. There's still a couple more presents I want to make before I finally glue it in and add the numbers. Oh, those ones will be available in my Etsy shop when I launch it, hopefully sooner rather than later. So yeah, this is just a tape measure that I acquired, a pile of them. I just thought they were quite nice. They're nice that they say made in England, which is nice if you're from England. So, we don't make very many things anymore. So more just stuffed pockets with bits from magazines, bits from books, just to just stuff the pockets. This is quite nice. So this is a napkin onto a bit of book page, and then I've used like my stamps. They look like Tim Holtz stamps to decorate the tag and the back. I was just playing with black and white themed. I quite like that. Bit of Fortnum & Mason packaging. Fortnum & Mason, if you don't know, is a very posh shop in England, like where the Queen used to do her shopping. And I bought, a couple of years ago, I bought trinkety bits and pieces, and you could buy either wicker baskets, which was ridiculously expensive, or sort of these Hessian bags. So I sort of made hampers with these Hessian bags to be like a Fortnum & Mason hamper. So I would buy some bits from Fortnum & Mason, some bits from Marks & Spencer's, and even some bits from Aldi, and they made really nice little hampers. So that's why I've got the packaging. Just a little flip. Just a bit of doily onto the music page. A little tuck spot. And I've got things that are like I said about the Bygone Times receipt, because this was in February and we did go up to see family and we went to Bygone Times. So I've even got like the little labels that came off some of the things. So it's 2 old prints that I bought for $2.25, and I actually think that like another would-be YouTube channel was, I was just gonna name myself Stall such and such, but then I realised I don't have a booth. But if you had a booth somewhere, name it the number of your stall. You know, like if you're stall 59, that could be the name of your YouTube channel. Just like, you know, I don't know. I like these blooming envelopes prints. I don't know where they're from though. That's from a magazine. That's from a supermarket magazine. I remember cutting that out. Isn't it funny how you remember things? Some raffle tickets. That's just off a package. Oh, somebody scored. I can hear outside the rugby match, or they're about to. That's a card that somebody gave me that I've just sort of used. It's beautiful. It's like tiles. It's really stunning. I've used it as a big tuck spot. Tuck some bits in. I've got some like kind of kimono silk behind it. And then I do actually have some writing. Making journals is one of my creative outlets. Creativity helps me process my imagination and most importantly my emotions. That's very true. Got more bits from this. I think this is from a Kew Gardens book. And then the next signature. I don't think I did everything. No, I didn't. See, I start to lose interest. That's from a magazine onto a bit of brown packaging paper made into a belly band. And then, oh, it's a sonnet. I can't read Shakespeare. I can't read it out loud. I think it's my, I don't know, it's not my accent. I don't know. Temper? I don't know. I'm not going to read it out to you. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't read poetry out loud very well. Yeah, we've got more bits and pieces. Making tags. And we're pittering out. Oh, that's quite sweet. I think that's even glued in. There we go. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Not all those who wander are lost. I think Gandalf says that, doesn't he? Got these birds from a really large napkin that I bought from a charity shop. And there we go. And that's what, you know, this is still a valid piece of art for me. It's not something I would give to somebody. I wouldn't give to somebody things that have got lots of empty spaces at the back. I would spread the empty spaces around. But I do think, you know, if you get to a point where I don't want to work in this anymore, then don't work in it, because you're only there to get your enjoyment, process whatever emotions you need, whatever you need to get out of your creative process. That's why this is here. And once that ends in that form, because it still carries on, because like I said, I do look at them, and even looking at that, I've got some ideas for future journals. You just keep looking at them and you see how far your practice has changed, and the things that you've done that you do again, the things that you've done that you're like, I really wouldn't do that again that way. Yeah, so I like the way it's tied. I like the key. I do like this situation a lot. So yeah, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed it. I like sharing my art. I like meeting other junk journalists and going, look at my book, and then looking at their books. I like that. I like seeing things and sharing things, and that's all part of it. So I'm going to go and see what we're going to have some dinner, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Thank you very much. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment to enter into that giveaway for that advent calendar. Time is getting on with that. I think I'm going to book some time off work just to do the advent calendars. It'll be a pleasure for me to do that as well, but I think I need to dedicate some time to it. There we go. I will see you soon. Bye bye.